Yes, so guys, we are excited to show you a new project for this year. We've always been speaking about growth on the farm, and for this year we have a new project that's coming up. And I'm sure behind me you can see the beautiful house. I won't tell you what it is, but you can see the beautifully and well constructed house. This is our new project for this year. And the new project for this year is goats. We've had at the farm we've had previously, now we don't have anymore, the traditional goats. We call them local breeds. But we wanted to go a notch higher and do proper dairy goats. So we're going to start with proper dairy goats, and that's why you can see the new house here. They're going to be zero grazed inside here. They're not going to be out. So I'll show you all the features of the house. You can see this goat shed is about, I think it's 11 feet by about 12 or 13 feet that way. Initially we wanted something like 10 by 10, but then as you're constructing, you realize it's a little bigger than that, which is okay anyway. You can just hold more goats in it. But you can see this is the outside of the house. I'm going to first of all take you around outside the goat shed. This is where we're going to be putting their feeds in. It's quite big. So we'll have some water over here, and then we'll have hay, and which we're going to use either lucerne and boma roots and some dairy milk to feed the goats, because they're going to be zero grazed. So depending on whether they are being milked, we'll add dairy milk or not. But you can see this is the front part. We've left some space here for ventilation and air. The goats need to be to breathe very fresh air. That's why we've left all this space. And then I'll open this later to show you how they're going to feed. What is it? You can see we have pieces of timber. We have offcuts. We used offcuts here because offcuts are cheaper. And remember, we did a lot of research on goat sheds, and there are plans online, and there were all other ways telling you how to construct a house. But then I think you need to localize it to your own place. If you look online or other places, you're going to see that most goat sheds are open all round. But our climate does not allow that. And the kind of goats you're bringing in does not allow that. So we have to localize it, consider the weather around here, consider the environment, and then construct a house according to that. So we did this out of our own minds, putting in mind the local factors. Let's go around. Yeah, you can see this is the one of the walls. What we did is that inside we have offcuts. Now you can see the ends, but inside we have offcuts, and then outside to make sure that no cold goes in, we have put the iron sheets. On this side you have 3 iron sheets. You can see actually, yeah, two iron sheets, as you can see. The thing we put offcuts inside because goats are quite heavy, and sometimes goats fight or they pull back. So if you just put iron sheets only, you're going to find your goats outside. So you need to reinforce the walls using offcuts. You can see this is like a staircase. It's not ideal for goats, but we didn't have enough space. Essentially, we should have put like a landing place over here and then a walkway onto that side. But our goats, once they go in, they're not be coming out. So, and because of the space we have here, we only need a staircase for the person who's going to attend to the goats. So we put a short staircase using offcuts. As you can see, we have pieces of trees, stumps, and then we have these are offcuts to reduce the cost of constructing a goat shed. This is the door. I'll take you inside later, but that's the door. Big door, you can see, and it locks very. You have to make sure it locks very securely, very strong here, and then you're going to put a padlock here. So that's the door. Let me show you the behind part. This is the back of the goat shed again, and you can see inside we have offcuts running all the way, about 11 feet about 12 feet across. Then you have iron sheets so that no coal goes in. Then you have again offcuts. These are offcuts going downwards like this. Offcuts here are cheap. You get them for about what, 80 Kenyan shillings per piece, as opposed to timber, which is about 300 per piece. You also can see this outside wall again. You can see at the corners, because usually the iron sheets will end somewhere here and the other one somewhere here. In the offcuts, we put another iron sheet running across like this to block any air going in. So you can block all the holes that are going inside. And again, this is because you see, this place gets very cold, especially now that during the rainy season it gets very cold. So you need to make sure the goats don't feel cold at all, so you don't experience things like pneumonia in goats. So we are back at the front again. Now I'm sure you've noticed that this house is raised. Now for goats, the house has to be raised from the ground. This is about 3.5 feet from down to the 3.5 feet. One, to allow you space to clean below here. You have to keep cleaning here to avoid any, like, I'm going to show you where the droppings, the goat droppings and the urine fall down. You have spaces inside there, and once they drop down, they need to be cleaned here so they don't take the ammonia smell back to the house. So you have to raise it about 3.5 feet or 4 feet or whatever you want that works for you. But ours, we chose 3.5 feet, and you can see the poles that we have here holding the house are quite thick and quite strong. And then below here, the floor, this is a concrete floor, and concrete because the droppings come down here and they need to be cleaned every day. If you had left it like an earthen floor with this one, they're just going to sink in and then smell back into the house. So you need to make sure it's a concrete, and ours is smooth and slanted, like downwards. So any urine or anything that drops from up here flows downwards and then will go into that tunnel you see over there. So the house all down here has to be clean always, and has to be cleaned every day. Now I'm sure you're asking yourself, if you're going to put food over here, how are the goats going to reach the food? Let me show you that. Clearly you can see into the goat house. So once you put food here and water, we have these spaces here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The goats can put their heads through here and access the food and the water. But at night, because you don't want coal to go inside, or you don't want any other animal from outside to attack the goats, then you need to close this place. You can see. And the goats are safe and secure for the night. So we can go inside now and I show you the interior of this goat shed. Welcome inside. Walk up the stairs with me. Now I want to show you, sorry about the chippings inside. We just finished the goat shed. We have not cleaned it. It's going to be done before the goats come in. But you can see what happens. First of all, it's very strong. See, I am about 80 kgs, and I can actually jump up and down inside here. So this is very strong and can hold many goats. But you see, on the floor, we use pieces of timber. And we have left spaces about 1/2 inch in between, 1 inch or 1/2 inch inside. This is because when the goats either urinate or their droppings, they all drop onto the concrete floor that I showed you down there. So this upper part will always be clean and dry. So the goats will not experience any dirt inside here. That's why you left so many spaces. The whole floor is just like that. You can see the strong pillars holding the house. The house is quite strong. And also I want to show you the open part. You can see there's a lot of fresh air coming in from here, and this is where we open and the goats can feed from the other side. I think I've shown you that. Now the other aspect is sunlight. Okay, first of all, before we go to sunlight, you can see how the height of this house, I can actually stand inside, which is very good to allow a lot of air circulation inside. and also the goats are going to be comfortable inside here, not be squeezed. But the other aspect is sunlight. Of course, the goats are going to be zero grazed inside here, so they need sunlight. That's why we put in this. I don't know what it's called. I call it translucent or something, but it's a plastic roofing. There's plastic roofing here that is clear and allows light to come inside. And you can see it runs away from the front to the back. So at any time of the day when there's sunlight, any of these parts of this goat shed will have sunlight inside here. So this is very important too, because unless some people take their goats outside to play and to graze, but ours that are being zero grazed, we have to make sure they access sunlight inside their own house. Hence, you can see the plastic roofing. Yeah, so guys, we're excited for this project for this year. 2024 is a year we're going to do. If you've been with us for this long, you know that we have done poultry. We have poultry on the farm. We have crops and we have fruit and everything. This year we're going to do goats, dairy goats, and at some point during the year we're going to do goats for meat. But we start with dairy goats, which is why this goat shed was built. So, and we've not yet found the goats. I have done my research. I've seen the available breeds around, which is the Toggenburg, the German Alpine, and the Sanen. I'm more tilted towards getting the German Alpine, which I've been looking for different farmers around. But there's an issue too. Getting quality breeds, especially around where we stay here, is almost impossible. I've visited several places. I've gone to the government department that deals with livestock. Here we don't have. So we'll search in other parts. The other important aspect, I'm sure the questions you have in your mind is how much this goat shed would cost you. There are two ways to go about it. If you go wherever online and you see the type of shed that people have put there, I'm sure it's going to cost you a lot. So what we did here is we construct according to our own local factors here. So we cut costs as much as we can where we could, and then we also try to use materials we had on the farm as much as we could. So the total, I'm going to break down to you the cost of various parts. The farm, and I want to start with what do I start with? The poles that you can see over there. These are not treated poles. We just got we bought some trees locally here. One tree would go for about 330 shillings, 350 shillings. Then we took the bottom parts, which are the strong parts. That's why you use. So you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, about 9 of the big poles there. Our cost us about what, 1,000 shillings for all of them. And then we had pieces of timber. You can see that was the most expensive one. Piece of timber. We had to buy they're called, there's a 6x2, and then there's a 4x2, and then there's a 3x2. So we had about, I don't know, about 25 of those in different parts, and you can multiply that. They all cost the same. They cost 308 shillings times 25. Actually more, times about 30. You can do that cost. I'll give the total later on. We had offcuts. We had 25 offcuts plus another 15. That is what? 40 offcuts times 80 shillings. We had what else? Iron sheets. Initially, I thought you're going to use 9 iron sheets, but we had not factored in that we have likely to have to extend to this place so rain doesn't go in, and then a bit to the sides. So in essence, we used not 5 actually. We used 8 iron sheets on top. Yes, we used 4 on the sides, 2. Then we used 5 at the back. So that's what 8 plus 5 is 13 plus 4, 17 iron sheets. Essentially, initially we thought you're going to use 9 of them. I can see each iron sheet is 1,100 shillings, except for the transparent one, which was going for 1,800 shillings per piece, and we had 1 piece. We had about, I think it would be 10 kgs of nails in total, different sizes, 3-inch, 4-inch, 5-inch, but we had about 10 kgs in total. And then the floor. The floor we didn't use, we had, we call them wheelbarrows here because I didn't want to buy a big truck of sand, which costs about 18,000 shillings. So we bought on wheelbarrows. Each wheelbarrow was 250 shillings, and we had 6 for the lower, 6 for the to do the floor. But we don't use a ballast. What we did is we had old bricks from the farm, left over from the house, which you put there and crush them. And I'm sure you can see from the video that we will show you. And then we put cement and sand on top. We had 2 bags of cement and 5 wheelbarrows of no 6 wheelbarrows of sand for that. What have Amanda spoken about? Hinges. These ones that are holding the doors or the other coast. We had 4 pairs of them. A pair goes for 50 shillings. And then this, let's call them locks. What you usually going to put the padlock. We have 3 of them. Each was going for also 100 shillings. I don't know what other I haven't covered on it. We also had a lot of materials on the farm, leftovers. We had other things that we had on the farm, small pieces of iron sheets, and yeah, the mesh you see over here, we bought one for 800 shillings, but didn't fit the whole place. But you can see we have several parts that are not part of it here, that are locally on the farm that we used over here. So that's 800 shillings. And then I think that's all. The total cost of the materials was 46,000. 46,000, I think, 46,800 or thereabouts. And then there's the cost of labor, which takes now the whole construction to about over 50,000 to construct. I thought I would actually get it cheaper than that, but again, I think being the first time that we are doing dairy goats, and having started a long time ago, I'm sure we've shown you housing on the farm where we started with basic ones, and as we keep advancing and learning, we want to build proper housing for our animals. So I think that's the cheapest we could do it for now. This shed can hold, in my own, can hold about 20 goats. Can hold 20 goats, yeah. It's quite big. And then at some point, you're going to separate. Once we come in the goats, we separate the does from the backs, and also separate the little ones from the big ones. So this goat shed can hold, I think, about 20 goats, dairy goats. That's quite good, because I'm hoping I'm going to get a nice breed of goats that can give us about 3 liters of milk per day, depending on how we feed it. So if you consider that and consider the cost of construction and all that, eventually we'll get back our investment. That's it on the cost. Yeah. So guys, this is it for this 2024. We're going to do dairy goats. We are looking for pure breeds of the German Alpine or the Saanen or Toggenburg. And we'll also keep you updated on this journey with us. Once we bring the breeds in, we're going to show you how we bring them in, where we get them from, and how we take care of them, and how they keep growing on the farm. Please subscribe, share our videos, go to the comment section and engage with us so that we keep on growing on this journey, and we'll keep you engaged.